Hello, and welcome to Every Day is Funny, the meditative morning show about newspaper comics. Today, I wanted to address something that came across my desk amongst my many files, reports, Scouts account. But something came to my attention, and this is not new news in the comics community. A few years old, well, actually, decades old, it began. But I think it's something that needs to be addressed. It's a controversy in the world of newspaper comics. And it involves a certain orange cat. And with the release of the new movie, I believe in canceling for any minor injustice. That's just like a personally held belief. I think any slip up, no matter how minor, should be immediately disqualifying from the human race. And so I came across this Garfield comic from 1990. And it caused a stir and a lot of confusion. And I want to talk about it, share my thoughts, because I think Jim Davis should be reprimanded. And he's gone unreprimanded for nigh on 3 decades now. But basically, and I'll link to this in the episode description and put the comic in the Instagram post probably. But in 1990, in May, Jim Davis posted a strip of Garfield, as he typically did. And this was in 1990. People had Garfield fever. If you weren't alive back then, which I wasn't, people were basically running to the store, the bodega. If you didn't get there by 8 a.m., all the newspapers were sold out back then because everybody wanted to see the new Garfield. And so Jim Davis had a lot of power, you know. We talk about power dynamics. This guy was running things. And in 1990, he releases this strip where Garfield is at the vet. And John grabs a cup next to the vet and says, "Have a cup of coffee, John." "Why, thanks. Don't mind if I do." He gobbles down this drink. The vet says, "Congratulations, Mr. Arbuckle. You are going to give birth to a fine, healthy litter of puppies." And he looks shocked by what he drank, and Garfield says, "I hate puppies." And now, when this came out in 1990, people thought, clearly, that Garfield's owner, John, had drank some dog semen. And it spread like wildfire. I don't have proof of this, but I heard maybe it reached the desk of the president. And so everyone thought this for a very long time. Message boards were talking about it for years. Fans became obsessed with this. And then finally, decades later, I believe in the mid-2010s, Jim Davis emerged to explain himself and clarify that this was not dog semen. And he said, on the farm, I guess he used to work on a farm or live on a farm. On the farm, we used to give first calf heifers a high-protein supplement to help them deliver healthier calves. The supplement was provided by our vet. Since Liz is a vet, I assumed that there would be a similar supplement for dogs, so John is drinking a protein-enriched drink. So he said it is not dog semen, just a supplement for pregnant dogs. And I wanted to share that. That seems like an easy cop-out that he honestly had decades to come up with and form his reasoning behind and his excuse. I do not believe you, Mr. Davis, and I believe we should start a movement to have me take over Garfield. You know, I just wanted to talk about this because with the movie out, I kind of feel like I could be what Hannibal Buress was to Bill Cosby. I want to shine a light on old injustices and have people properly reprimand. Hashtag cancel Jim Davis. Let's get to the comics. All right, let's check out some Beetle Bailey. The captain is talking to Beetle. He says, "You haven't heard a word I've said to you, have you?" Then he yanks out a headphone. Beetle says, "Hey, you knocked out my earbud." What? That's the joke? What? That? Come on. Not even a background drawn in. It's just a reveal that he's wearing an earbud? Is this like the laziest joke we've ever read on the show? Like, they don't even set the scene. It's not like we've even had like a long conversation where Beetle's like not responding and we think he's dumb, you know, and there's like this setup of like, uh-oh, something happened to Beetle, he's not responding, and then we get the reveal. It's just immediate. "You haven't heard a word I've said, have you?" "Ah, you knocked out my earbud." With no background. Listen, I started this show saying I was not going to rate any of the comics, and this is a chill vibe. I do think, though, that this is the laziest effort maybe ever so far. Like, taking a joke, not even a joke, I don't even know. There's just no setup or punchline or anything. I'd rather something just wholesome to start my morning than this in between, are we being funny or are we just watching a slice of life where Beetle had an earbud in? I need some Zippy the Pinhead to bring me back from that. I know this is gonna be some weird stuff. We see two women in an office setting organizing some mail of some kind. One woman says, "Does everyone have their train tickets to Sheboygan, Wisconsin?" The other woman says, "Yes, Miss Fitzmiller, I have my tickets to Sheboygan." Then it's a bunch of older people in suits, and they say, "I've got my tickets to Sheboygan." "Yep, we've all got our tickets to Sheboygan." And then we cut to a train, and the conductor says, "All aboard, next stop, why not North Carolina? Tickets, please." What's happening? These random people that we haven't seen before all want to go to Sheboygan. And then maybe they get on the wrong train? Is that the joke? We do see some surprised faces that could insinuate like, oh no, we got on the wrong train. But the conductor is saying, "Tickets, please." Like out the window. So they have time to get off the train if this isn't the correct train, if that's the joke. He's not saying "tickets, please" as the train is moving. So they're clearly in the pre-boarding aspect of a train departure. Do you see what I'm saying? Have I explained it enough? Who are these people, though? Why are they all going to Sheboygan? They look very fancy. All right, let's move on to Rex Morgan. Yesterday, Parker had left Corey, was wandering through the hallways, and another bully was approaching him. So let's see if he's still dealing with the bully. Oh, okay. It appears that it's the first bully again, and he's back in his green shirt. So maybe they just colored in the last panel incorrectly, and it was the same bully the whole time. That would make more sense. All right, he meets Parker in the hallway. He says, "Hey, Tubbo, you want to say something smart to me now?" Parker says, "No, I want to go get my books from my locker. Now, excuse me." The bully says, "Not so tough without your other nerd friends around, huh?" Parker says, "I've never claimed to be tough. Thick-skinned, maybe, but tough isn't exactly my thing." I just like... does this bully like... This bully is relentless. Like, he can't even get through lunch without like fuming, like, I gotta go make fun of that kid again. Man, I do think Parker's handling it better than before. He's just kind of acknowledging it. He's not saying anything weird to egg the bully on. He's just kind of like, yeah, I just kind of want to get my books and leave. Like, you're really aggressive, dude. So I think that's good. But man, this bully is like, why? Why this kid who did nothing to you? Like, what was even the start of this? He just kind of came up to them in the hallway and started making fun of him. Called him string bean and something else. I just like want to get into the author's head. Like, okay, they ate lunch, now he's gonna bully him again. Like, darn. When you're drawing this strip and you decide like, all right, now for the third or fourth time today, this bully's gonna antagonize Parker, say basically the same thing. Like, I know this is a strip that has to happen every day, but as the author, aren't you a little like, hey, I'm bored with this storyline. This is even boring to me. Why don't I move on? Why don't they go to history class and answer a question correctly? At least then I can look up a fact or a quiz question to put in the comic and everybody learns something. But this is just like, he's gonna bully him again. How about that? And I'm not bored of that, and every day is the same, and life is pointless. That's what Terry Beatty thinks. Let's check the comments. Michael A. Fleming says, these two are gonna end up dating. That would be, honestly, I don't think that would happen because that feels a little progressive. Actually, okay, this is an interesting question. Maybe not, but I believe it is. Is it progressive if a bully dates a nerd? Because it's progressive in the non-binary character dating a very like conservative, tough bully. Like, that would be progressive. But is it progressive for a comic to just make that combo date even if it's not a good idea? Like, this would be an abusive relationship. Is that still progressive? Think on it. But that's an interesting theory. That would be very funny if they ended up dating. But I think this is too old school a comic vibe to ever attempt something like that. But maybe I'm wrong. I would love to see it. I don't know why I would love to see it. That's how depressing my life is. I would love to see these two cartoon characters date. That's the only thing I got going on for me. All right, let me think of what to comment. All right, I'm gonna say, from the point of view of the bully, thank God this school doesn't actually have classes and makes bullying and lunch its only curriculum. This is my kind of school. Which I say because we have not seen anybody for like 2 weeks now enter a classroom. They're only eating lunch or getting bullied. Send. All right, time to wind down for this Thursday, June 6th. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And remember, every day is funny.